Wayport. We are live this morning with our dear sister Analyn, our dear brother Raymond, and our beautiful and blessed journey that we've been on together since the day we met. And talk about when that soul to soul connection occurs, that moment. I mean, it was like, there you are. And it's just, when we share that with some people that may not understand, it's just our souls were brought back together in this lifetime to do so much more for so many others in this world. And that's the gratitude and the love that we've felt since the second we met you both. And we're honored to call you family, our brother and our sister, and this miraculous journey we've all been on. And as you know, I can speak for 9 hours straight, but this is about you both and your journeys and where you've been and where you are at right now, and how the Tree of Life movement and the Intention Stick has impacted or uplifted your life. So world, this is Analyn and Raymond. Raymond and Analyn, this is the world.
Hello world, and what a beautiful world it is, especially when we can all really connect, because I mean, as you and I know, there's so much more that unites us than divides us, and I think we really need those reminders now more than ever before. And so I have to echo also what you're saying, that when we sat down to meet, it was like, oh my goodness, we could have talked for hours, and actually I think we did talk for a couple of hours.
Yes, we did.
We actually did. I think you were there for probably 2-3 hours. And
when Analyn gets a thought in her mind, it's like everybody step back because she's coming.
She's in the flow.
And I know that oh so well.
Yes, I do.
So yes, so you can either start on your journey prior to us meeting and kind of share with the world and what you're doing with 1 in 10 and just
1 in 9.
I'm sorry, 1 in 9. Hello, 1 in 9.
1 in 9.
1 in 9. I know, and just you two and your beautiful family. So have fun.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
Raymond may not look like it, but 22 years ago, his kidneys failed at the age of 29. We had only been dating for 3 months, so he was 29. And I always have to preface this with, I'm 6 years younger than him, so I was only 23, and it really came out of the blue. It was a surprise to both of us. And so on the way home from the hospital a week later, when I picked him up, he said, babe, I think I'm going to move back to Charleston, South Carolina, where he's from. And I looked at him and said, why? He said, because I know I have a long road ahead of me and you're too young for this. This isn't fair to you. And I looked at him and I said, you're a good man. You're not going anywhere. I'm not going to dump you because of this. Let's see where our relationship goes from there. Less than a year later, we were married. So we've now been married 21 years. And I know I have to look at him and make sure. and we've been through a lot through that journey, the ups and downs of kidney failure, and he's been on every dialysis modality. There's been so much in that we've had to learn through our own experience. And in doing so, a couple of years ago, back in 2016, Raymond was one of the Dancing with the Stars, celebrity star dancer with Dancing with the Stars Arizona with the Kidney Foundation. Yeah. And the way that even came about was the year prior, 2015, Raymond was invited to come to the gala. And so we were both there, and I was kind of teasing him. I said, haha, that could be you dancing next year. And then oh crap, I know that look.
I knew oh so well, and I knew it was coming. And I even tried to avoid it.
I told you, once she gets an idea, step aside.
Oh, get out of the way. And I have to say, adding to that, when my kidneys first failed, when she told me that she was going to stay with me, I knew that I had to have that same stick-to-itiveness, that I had to have that same dedication and discipline, because if she's going to make such a sacrifice in her life for me, okay, what is my part in this? Mm-hmm. And I have to tell you, before I forget, because I'm getting older now and things seem to be slipping. But every once in a while, when I'm having a hard day, I just reach down and I just grab this intention stick. And it brings me back to norm. I could be in traffic, or the kids could be driving me crazy, which has been happening lately. So I've been grabbing this a lot, and it reminds me and it centers me, you know. And I just had to say that before I forgot to say it.
Oh,
It
that's
just
so
came to mind.
beautiful, Raymond.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And we agree. Same. We all go through challenges or obstacles or daily life, which is normal because we are all human. No one's invincible. And it's that tool, that beautiful reminder that centers us, that grounds us.
Right.
And to understand we've got this no matter what's thrown in our path. And it's just not this, it's, as you both know, on the spiritual journey of what's been taking place, it's us collectively, and we are a part of this collectively. It's just not one or two or three or four. It is, wow. And our spiritual family is growing around the world every day. And it's, I know you guys have been witnessing it. So thank you for sharing that, Raymond. That was
Absolutely.
And go ahead.
Speak to, how we're all being called, and, in so many ways, we have to shine our light now brighter than ever before. And, I started with, kind of bringing up the Dancing with the Stars, because it was at that gala, after all of these years of Raymond being, going through this journey, it was the first time we started to hear more about the statistics. It was the first time we were like, whoa, wait a minute. It affects how many people? Did you just say 26 million Americans, 1 in 9 adults have kidney disease?
mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Did you just say 90% don't even know that they have it?
Mm-hmm.
How is that possible? And that was Raymond. And it was just a couple of years ago, Raymond was at his VA doctor, and she was looking back through all of his paperwork, and she was just amazed. And she was looking through his records when he was in the military, because his kidneys failed a year out of the military. And she said, Mr. Scott, when you were in the military, did they tell you that your kidneys were in decline? I said, no, it was right there in black and white. And so not only have we lived it, we are seeing it day in and day out with the people that we're supporting, with the people that we're meeting, that they were caught off guard and crashing into dialysis, or finding out just shy before that. What do you mean my kidneys are damaged? What's going on here? And so we knew at that point that we had to do something. We had a responsibility. And it was actually about 6 years ago, right around this time, that I was given a huge vision. I mean, it was the most powerful vision I've ever had in my entire life. And if you look at it, my background was, I was in IT sales. I had a 14-year career. It was the best year, my most successful year yet. I had doubled what I did the year before. But there were things happening that year that were giving me clues, that were saying, no, we're shifting things. God was shifting things, and he kept giving me clues. But that vision he gave me that summer was so powerful and so undeniable that I've been able to gain strength from it over these past 6 years. It was one where all I could see, as far as the eye could see, was just silhouettes of people, millions of people. And the message was, we've been waiting for you. Now, it didn't say, all right, Analyn, you're going to quit your job. Now, but at that point, I did know I had a shift. And I told Raymond, I said, I'm going to be quitting my job this year. We didn't tell another soul. But I couldn't have predicted everything else that happened. But because of that obedience and knowing that that's what I needed to do, in fact, the message even came that closer to the time I was going to give my notice, oh, you don't have to leave. You can stay at your job, but life and death are on the line. I didn't know if it was Raymond's, mine, both, or who. I said, I'm done. I'm good. And because of that obedience, that's where doors started opening, with the Dancing with the Stars, with, all these other things. And that's really how 1 in 9 was birthed, was, wow, we need to make a documentary about our lives and what's been happening so we can reach other people. And it was like, no, we're still doing the documentary, but this is even so much bigger than that. It's really beautiful how our purpose and destinies have intertwined. And so that's really, 1 in 9. Our mission is to change the trajectory of kidney disease through awareness, prevention, and regenerative medicine. And that, I believe, when you put those intentions out, it's amazing what comes back.
Yes.
It's amazing that those 3 pillars would open up doors of opportunity, that gifts would fall from heaven, regenerative medicine solutions fall from heaven that have saved Raymond's life twice already, and that will affect so many other people. And so I look back on that and I was like, how powerful that those were our intentions from the beginning. And so, when we had an opportunity to meet, it was through one of our dear, dear friends, Rosalind. And I know she
Yes.
Oh, she's wonderful, and she have something for you. And she gifted me with one of the intention sticks. And she said, you have got to meet this couple. They are just incredible. I just spent about 3 hours with them. And she goes, I'm speechless.
By the way, people think we kid when we say we were there for 2 or 3 hours and sometimes longer. No, this is about being in the present, being in the now, and understanding why we were guided into each other's lives. And so I just wanted to add to that. People think, oh, it's like, sure, you're there for 2 or 3. No, that's why we're here, to make sure.
You have to, and it's like time just slows down, and you're in that moment, and it's like, you just let that energy go back and forth, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And so, and she was right, because when we did have that opportunity to meet, I was like, oh, I see what she meant, but it didn't seem like 2 or 3 hours.
No.
And it seemed like we knew each other, because our souls, and I think, and I don't even think, it's not that I think, I know. I've been saying this for the last few years, that there has been this big shift. So people are thinking this shift right now with this, COVID-19 pandemic, the shift was already happening. This is major, but so many of us are like, okay, we can see through it a little bit deeper, look at it with more meaning.
Yeah.
And I've been saying, like I said, for years, that in this shift, people are being called to shine the light now more than ever before. And so when you were given this vision and this mission, I could see it when we met, that you were so passionate about shifting this world for the good, bringing people together, which is something I've always, from a young age, that's always been important to me. And it just seems so natural. I mean, if someone can just walk in someone else's shoes, we'd have world peace, right?
I love that. Well, I wanted to go back to something you had talked about yourself. And that was that you had a vision, almost like a calling. And how would you explain to someone else who might be fighting it? Because here you had a great job. You said you doubled what you did the year before. And here, like, why would you leave that, right? Someone else would say, well, I'm too afraid to leave.
That's crazy. What do you mean? I'm
crazy.
Because you see division.
Don't think it's crazy.
What comes to my mind is 2 intentions, which is trust the journey, trust what you're receiving, and believe in it, right? But how would you suggest, or can you explain to someone what that means to follow your vision or your heart, and what it did for you?
Oh, yeah. And again, because it hasn't been an easy journey, but it was one, and I think that's why the vision was so big and powerful, that I knew that there was a big responsibility on my shoulders. And so anytime things get hard, it's like I can look back at that. And most people can't understand that, don't understand it. We couldn't necessarily share that with everybody. And we didn't at first until we made that leap. And I didn't know, like I said, all that was going to come. And so there have been, ups and downs and challenges. And we have so many people, even family members, that have said, oh, you should go back to your job or just go work for this. It's like, no, that's not what God showed me. That's not what he showed. And just really having, like for Raymond and I, we had that trust. And so I could talk to him about things and he could understand. You have to be careful who you share your vision with.
Mhm.
A lot of people can be dream killers, and
Absolutely.
and it's not, you know, they may have the best intentions for you, but they don't have the capacity to support your dreams.
That's right. We call that the law of opinions.
Right? And there's a lot of opinions out there. But you
Yeah.
have to stay true to it. You know, I've had people over the years say, "Oh, you should do this," and no, that's
No.
And so I would just encourage people, because I know through this journey, and I had this stirring in my belly that was so powerful. And I hear other people talk about that too. And it was so undeniable that there was no way I could do anything but what I was being asked to do. Didn't matter who understood, didn't matter who thought I was crazy. You know, you just left a 6-figure job and you're the main breadwinner. And there have been ups and downs, but I'll tell you what, we've made sacrifices. We have never been richer. Our souls are so much richer.
Yes.
The fact that, you know, us being, you know, able to meet and become family, all of the lives that have been touched, and we're just getting started. And so you have to go through, there's, you know, for any kind of testimony, you got to go through some tests. And so know that, you know, for those that are listening that have those stirrings, say, follow your instincts, be very intentional, and trust the process. I say it all the time that, you know, I'm following God's breadcrumbs, and he's leaving me the breadcrumbs that every time he gives one that's like a clue, I take a step forward. And you have to have that faith, because it doesn't always look like what it's going to be.
Mm-mm.
And so often, and this is another thing that I would really stress to people, is that blessings come in unexpected packages.
Yeah.
So, and we're definitely seeing a lot of that now, because as you're experiencing too, there's so many people that have been called to shine their light and to share their gifts and to do something powerful in this world. And so, you know, as we're all getting connected, we may not have thought that we had things in common, but we all have so much in common, and we strengthen each other. We can build each other up. And so just know that as you continue to follow those breadcrumbs, you're going to be given the provision. You're going to be given the sustenance. You're going to be given the other people to come around that will become part of your tribe, that will become, you know, part of your support system.
Yes.
Trust it and enjoy the journey, right?
Yes, and have fun. And what I'm so proud to share is that you listened, because most people don't. They dismiss it. It's like, why am I having this like thought or this vision or this person, and we just dismiss it. We never learn to listen from here. Again, you and I, us four, know, shut the heck up.
You're right.
And listen in this. And Raymond, I'm sorry, what were you going to say? I know you were.
Well, it's something I'm going through my second time through the Bible, and something that has always stuck with me, and our pastor went through one of his sermons, was trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And besides the golden rule in this house, which is to treat others as you would want to be treated,
Yes.
that is one of my stand-tos. And I even express this to the kids, so it's constantly with them also. But we have grown as a family spiritually, you know, and ever since we got these, you can feel the growth. Because like I said, I just become more centered when I just grab this. Even right now, I start to feel a little warm. And then, you know, most people think like, okay, so it's just a necklace though. But it's a lot more than that to us, you know? And we want to thank you guys for starting this.
Oh my goodness. And Raymond, it's so interesting what came when you were speaking earlier. One, thank you for your service, especially as we just celebrated Memorial Day yesterday, and all of our vets who have given their blood, sweat, tears, and lives. And we have to also remember our fallen soldiers, our brothers. But
Yeah.
thank you. We do not take that for granted for a second, because we have our freedom because of all the men and women that have served, and we are still serving regardless if it's military or as a civilian.
Right.
And the thing that I just really took from that, because it just clicked again, I know we've talked about this spiritually. The spiritual message of kidneys has to deal with isolation.
Right.
And loving ourselves and not feeling alone. Now, again, tying in again here as a vet, or all of these beautiful vets around the world, maybe feeling alone. And,
Right.
and this is such an important time to make sure anyone is not left alone. As your motto, as a soldier, no man is left behind.
Yeah.
And this is so important to make sure besides all of our vets around the world, but every one of our brothers and sisters in a time that is so needed is not feeling alone. And this message, yes, 1 in 9 with kidney and making sure we're aware of taking care of ourselves, but also the importance of never letting someone feel isolated or alone or lonely or going through something by themselves, because the support from our spiritual family around the world is in place to help one another. And I love, by the way, yes, as the more we talk, the warmer these gets. It's incredible, because what Marla and I have witnessed through our journey, this has been our biggest teacher. It's a mirror image of our own vessel. And as we know, we've talked about this before, we come into this world as a broken vessel, and we're here to repair it, to fill ourselves back up with what we need to continue to help another soul. And that's why we're doing the work we're all doing together in a time, like I said, is so needed. And
yeah, well, I was going to say, you're exactly right, that this brings us back, Raymond, as you touch this, it brings us back to the I am presence, the I am that I am, right?
Yes.
When we touch this, and it reminds us of what it is that we need in our life today. So if you are going through, a vet or anyone in this world is going through anxiety or stress or worry or fear,
or God forbid, sickness or tragedy, whatever that is for that individual,
then we have this to remind us to come back to that place of the I am, and to know that we are part of a collective and we are here for one another. And I think that's what we have to remind each other, right? That soul to soul connection, and what you're doing for 1 in 9 as well.
And I love a part where you just quoted, in every spiritual or religious book or any culture, it says, love your brother and your sister like you love yourself.
Amen.
And
Yes.
this is why we're here, to remember to love ourselves, truly unconditional love, so we can truly love another as we do. I know that, but we have to remind this beautiful world to love themselves first, to fill themselves back up with that love, to see everyone the same. There is, as we all know, there's no black, white, pink, yellow. There's no Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim. Our souls are the same. Enough with the ego, the politics, the money, the religion. Stop and just, one, we're not judged. Who are we to look at someone else in this world or this lifetime to think we're better than someone else? We are all the same. And when we can finally realize that, and we're here to help one another and coexist and bring that joy and that love and that happiness and the bliss that we experience. And yes, we're going to be tested, as you said, Analyn. The more good we do, the harder we're tested, but it should never take us out of that path with that heart to touch one more soul.
Right.
Yes.
And
what's beautiful too, and you talk about, just touching even one soul. I had a big smile on my face a couple of months ago, and we had the reminder. Facebook is wonderful, right? They give you some of the reminders, and the picture that popped up was 2 years ago. You and Marla were just so gracious to host. We had we were celebrating 20 years of life since Raymond's kidneys failed. And most people, you know, aren't able to claim that, aren't able to, you know, to say that, because usually it's about 5 years of life for people on dialysis. And so you hosted a fundraiser for us at your gallery, and we had some beautiful friends and supporters and people that were there. And the picture that popped up was, you know, showed with everyone, because you were so gracious. We weren't expecting it, but you graciously gifted an intention stick to everyone that was there that night. And I'm trying to pull up the picture, as we were able to, as I looked at the picture, I smiled and I said, look at all of these beautiful, beautiful people. I don't know.
Wait, come closer.
There.
Closer.
And
Hold on, you got a text. a little closer.
And I knew it got light behind it.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What a beautiful picture,
It was
Analyn.
such an incredible gathering.
Wow.
And I look at this and I look at each person, each soul that was there. And I know that they all have powerful purposes. And to see, you know, just even over these past 2 years, how beautifully they're living life with intention, and how they've just blossomed, and, you know, and I love to see that they are following their paths to be a light unto this world. And so I thank you so much for that, because there were many lives that were touched that night. And so again, that ripple effect still continues.
Yes. It's like Marla's vision, the beautiful tsunami, this coming from pure love and pure intention would sweep the world, and everyone in the world would be wearing one in every language and in Braille. And we know it's coming, but we're all going to insert the word oneness at the same time. Because as we know, we don't need to die or transition to go to heaven. It's all around us. It's everywhere we are, but it's also within us all. As we say every day, we just have to see the good within everyone, because it's there. It just may be covered up with some of the programming or the dust, the dirt. We just have to wipe it off to let that beautiful soul within that individual shine bright, as you just said that evening. Yes, the love in our gallery was reaching the heavens above. I mean, just still making every hair on my body stand up. And that's to remind everyone in this world that we can do whatever we set our minds to when it's coming with the right intention, that from your heart, and knowing we're here to help one another. And it's not like you said you have to quit your job, become a priest, a nun, a rabbi, a guru. No, just acts of kindness, a simple act of kindness to ask someone, how are you?
Right.
How can I help you? But listen, most people are like, oh, how are you? And someone says, oh, not good. And they're like, oh, great, have a good day. And they just continue to walk on with their life. It's like, be present as we are now, as we were that miraculous day in our office. Because look what has taken place in this journey of us being together, let alone the tens of thousands around the world. They're touching lives every day. And that's why you and Raymond know that you are as important to this as Marla and I, because it is about us collectively. And Raymond, I just love that. I have never seen a picture without you wearing this, and that light coming from your heart. And just in every picture of you and Analyn, both of you, just that beautiful light is beaming from both of you and your family. And wow.
If someone is watching right now and may not have an intention stick and is thinking of getting one, what would you share with them as to why they should get an intention stick or be part of the Tree of Life movement?
What I would share with them is the fact that if you have something, and it doesn't have to be something physical or even a memory or a thought that takes you back to a moment in your life where you experience that sadness or rejection or something that happens to you during that day, then once you look at getting one of these, you'll find yourself and experience those experiences we have in which you're more centered. You're back to those days in which you were treated well, where you treated others well, where you understood. And God has a way of working things out, and that he's going to bring you in contact with people that you may need, or people that may need you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a constant reminder of that. And no amount of money is too much for this. No amount. With the experiences you're going to, and the gifts that you get, it is phenomenal. And for me, it made me closer to God. And I feel closer to God. Let me put it that way. I've always been close to God, but I can feel his presence when I grab it, when I'm experiencing the moment.
You just gave me the
Yeah,
chills.
every hair on my body's standing up, Raymond.
Raymond, and isn't that the point, is to feel it?
Yes. Yes, not necessarily as a piece of jewelry,
Right.
but what it brings to you and what it can bring to you and others.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've been, out and about, and we'll see someone else wearing an intention stick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're not Scott Marla too. Wow, you're part of the Tree of Life movement. And people of all backgrounds. And I think that, again, is so powerful.
Right.
Just a reminder, and that, people can put their intentions in here, and just when they're having a tough day, they can just remember and say, no, I am, right, Marla? I am strong. I am blessed. I am successful. I am powerful. I am capable. I am not alone.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Goes on and on.
Wow. I love that, what you both just shared, that when you see someone, all boundaries just melt away. It's just the pure soul to soul connection that we're all a part of something bigger.
Right.
And that we are always being guided, or people, as you just said, Raymond, are being guided into our lives, or we're being guided into someone else's life to help, to serve,
Right.
to help inspire, uplift, or help someone get through something maybe much worse than what someone else is going through. And as we all know, that is what brings us our bliss, our happiness, because when you can watch another person fill up and start repairing their broken vessel, and they do the same for another, which we witness every second of the day now. Wow, our hearts, our souls just overflow with that pure love and joy. And that's the bliss that you said, it's priceless. There's $1 trillion will never give you what that soul to soul connection will do for you.
Right.
And that's why we're here. We chose to come back in this lifetime to do the work. And it's not even for us right now. On our site of treeoflifemovement.com, on the first homepage, it's the ancient Greek proverb that says, a society grows great when old men plant trees in which they know the shade they will never sit in. And this is why we're doing it. It is for our children, our grandchildren, our great-great-grandchildren to grow up living a life of intention, to realize we are all the same and we're here to help one another. And all those boundaries, all the negativity, the war, the hatred, everything just comes together and it melts away and just comes from the umbrella of love versus fear. And we're doing it. We're not talking about it. And as you said at the beginning of this conversation, Analyn, it's about now. It's divine timing that this is happening. Our call is taking place today. It's not about tomorrow. Oh, I'll get to it next week. No, taking action and doing the things that we know are right in our hearts and trusting that. Wow.
Wow.
Right.
What are you gonna
Thank you. No, this has been just a divine call, and we just feel so blessed to be walking this path together with you, arm in arm, and we are going to and help as many people as possible while we're here, because it is about our future generations.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's about love. And so
Yeah.
well,
Unconditional love.
yes, unconditional, and that's key. And I'll leave this for you and all those that are watching. you know, unfortunately, my grandmother passed away back in 2016 on our anniversary.
I remember.
But we know that she was ready. She had lived a long life and happy one. And my mother was blessed to be there for the last week or two of my grandmother's life. And she shared with me that I think it was maybe a day or two prior to her passing, she looked at my mom and said, "It's all about love."
Yes.
And that's what this is all about. It's all about love.
Yeah.
And don't need to wait until we're on our deathbeds to really fully get that message and understand it. But it's all about love and loving with intention and moving forward with intention, and whatever is stirring that's going to bring more unity and more love to this world. That's what we're here for.
You're
And
Amen is right. And your grandmother was a very wise soul. And
Yeah.
and to continue to share that every day. Yes, we have to love, but we have to remember to love ourselves first so we can love another.
Right.
Absolutely.
And what you just said, I love that your grandmother said on her deathbed, don't wait your entire life to figure that out. Regardless if you're a child or you're 90 years of age, nothing's ever too late. But truly learn to love who you are. It goes back to the I am that I am, because we're all, whether someone says God, the universe, the source, the light, whatever that is to that individual, we're all made in that image. We're all perfect just who we are. So we have to truly love who we are.
Right.
And we may not have been taught that from parents, grandparents, because they did the best they could to raise us in the best way they knew how. So there's never blame. We have to figure that out. We have to love ourselves. Or as Marla says, to look in the mirror and say, I love you to yourself, and even use your name. Because when you can do that without ego, there's no ego or vanity, but that's unconditional love for ourselves, then we can look at one another and truly love you versus saying, oh, I love you, kiss, kiss, have a nice day. No, Marla and I know when we look at you both and say, I love you, you know that it's true in our hearts. And it takes work like anything. It's not like, okay, all of a sudden, unconditional love, I got it. No, we have to work on that. And the forgiveness, that, as we both have talked about, is the second most difficult thing to achieve in this lifetime. We have to forgive everything that's taken place, because these things have happened for us, gifts, whether it's sickness or tragedy or obstacles or whatever that is. We have to say thank you, forgive it, and send it with love so we can receive all of the new gifts for our journey ahead.
Right.
And we also have to remember to forgive ourselves, because we are the most, how do you say, we're our own worst enemies, and we have to forgive how hard we are on ourselves.
Yeah.
Treat ourselves with that love and kindness. And we forget because we're always trying to help everyone else. So remember this beautiful message. Again, I love, no message or interview has ever been the same. But remember to take care of yourselves first so you can continue to help others.
Yes. You guys do the same, please.
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you. And you, as you already know, fill us back up. So that is the love and the kindness and the gratitude we're getting from you. You know when my cheeks get rosy red, that's from you. And it's just, Marla and I, as Marla just said, are so blessed, so grateful you're in our lives. And we are honored to call you family, our brother, our sister, your kids. I mean, wow.
And I want to end on this, that you two are such a beautiful couple and beyond, destined. And there's a Hebrew word that Scott and I use, which says bashert. And it's spelled out in English phonetically, Bashert, bashert. Bashert is what's meant to be. It's when two souls come together and become one. And I see that in the two of you. You know how, Analyn, you trusted, you opened yourself up and trusted the journey. And Raymond, you opened your heart up to bring in Analyn into your life because you both knew, you knew what was coming.
Mhm.
You knew there were right.
Right. Everything comes from above, and
even though you knew that there were going to be challenges and tests because he told you,
Right.
you still trusted that this is the soul I need to be with. There's much we're going to do together.
oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
So yes, what's taking place around the world right now is Beshert, right? It was destined to be.
Hmm.
And we're going to bring all the souls back together. Even though all of our souls in this world are one, we just forgot. And we're here to wake up, remind, and make sure the world does realize we are one. We are a part of a collective whole. And well, as I don't want the call to end because I know we can talk for 9 more hours, but as Marla and I just say thank you, we honor you both. And as always, sending you and your beautiful family blessings and intentions of gratitude, light, and love. And we can't wait to see you for the real hugs, by the way.
Blessed to have you
Yes.
as family. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you. We never say goodbye. We say abiento. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Love you, love you, love you.
Love you too.
Mwah.